Runnin' with the Devil is one of the easiest Van Halen songs to learn on guitar. I've prepared this lesson with a beginner in mind. We'll start out by learning Eddie's basic guitar structure for the song, then we'll learn the intricate techniques that bridge it to an advanced level. Runnin' with the Devil is the first track off the self-titled Van Halen album, also known as Van Halen 1. To capture the guitar tone from Runnin' with the Devil, we are using an EVH Wolfgang guitar provided courtesy of EVH Gear. The pickup is set to the bridge location. We are running the guitar through effects courtesy of the Carl Martin Company. First in line is a plexitone distortion. Boost is not used. Level is just before 1 o'clock. Tone to 3 o'clock. High gain around 1 o'clock. And crunch just past 10. Then an echo tone delay with echo set just before 3. Feedback just past 12 o'clock. Tone to 1. And time to 4 o'clock. For the amp EQ, bass is dialed in at 2 o'clock, middle to 1 o'clock, and treble to 2 o'clock. Before any chords are played, Eddie picks strings 1 through 5 behind the bridge of a hardtail guitar. With his current brand of guitars, you could pick strings 2 through 5 behind the locking nut to get a similar effect. This gives the guitar a chime-like sound. There are 2 major chords that make up phrase 1, a 1-finger major bar chord and a 3-finger major chord. For the 1-finger chord, lay your index finger across the 5th fret on strings 2, 3, and 4 and strum those strings. In the 5th fret position, this is a C chord. If we move up 2 frets and bar the 7th fret, we now have a D chord. From this D, we can easily apply the 3-finger bar chord to form a G. Again, the 1-finger D chord is across the 7th fret on strings 2, 3, and 4. Add your 2nd or middle finger to the 2nd string 8th fret, skip the 3rd string, and add your 3rd or ring finger to the 4th string 9th fret. Strum all 3 strings, and you have a 3-finger G major chord. Slide this shape up 2 frets, and you have a 3-finger A major chord. After the A major, lift your 2nd and 3rd fingers and you expose a 1-finger E chord. This is across the 9th fret of strings 2, 3, and 4. These 2 chord shapes make up the meat of the song. Let's run through them before adding some techniques. Start with the 1-finger C up to D, D again, to 3-finger G, up 2 frets to A, lift your 2nd and 3rd fingers for a 1-finger E. Again, C to D, D to G, A to E. Now let's look at the tab to get a better idea of the techniques used with these chords. Each repetition starts off with a 6-string slide from around the 17th fret down the neck. Next is the 5th fret C, up to the 7th fret D. The next symbol is a string rake. Release pressure on the strings, but keep your fingers in contact with them. Strum down, then up for 2 rakes, apply finger pressure, and repeat the D chord, then hammer your middle and ring fingers to form the G. Rake, rake, D, hammer to G. Move everything up 2 frets to A. Then by lifting the 2nd and 3rd fingers, you have the 9th fret E. 6th string, 17th fret slide. C to D. Rake, rake, D to G, A to E. Each time the chorus is played, end the section by sliding the E chord down the neck on the last repetition. Let's take a practice run at half speed. In phrase 2, we have the verse starting off on an A5 power chord. 5th string open, 4th string 2nd fret, and 3rd string 2nd fret. To a G note on the 6th string 3rd fret, give it a quick bend, then return to the A5. A5, G, A5. Palm mute a single open 5th string A. Then play a series of double notes on the 3rd and 4th string. First is the 3rd string 4 with the 4th string 5. Drop down to the 3rd string 2 with the 4th string 4. And end on the 3rd string open with the 4th string 2. Each of these double note combinations make up a partial chord. Frets 4 and 5 are a partial G chord, down to 2 and 4 for a partial F sharp minor chord, down to open and 2 for a partial E minor chord. Be sure to mute the strings between each partial chord with the palm of your picking hand. So for the first part of the verse, we have A5, G, A5, a single palm muted A note, then a partial G, F sharp minor, E minor. A5, G, A5, palm muted A, partial G, F sharp minor, E minor. The second part of the verse uses the same chords, but with a slight variation for the timing. A5, G, A5 is the same. The open A to partial G is the same, but the F sharp minor to E minor is a quicker change. Here's the second half again. And the two parts played together. As this section of the song is repeated, several slight variations are made. Let's practice this basic structure, then we'll learn the variations. The first half of the verse sometimes includes palm muted A notes between the partial chords. A5, G note, A5, open A pedal tone, partial G, pedal tone, partial F sharp minor, pedal tone, partial E minor. The second half of the verse often adds fills after each partial E minor. The first time this section is played, harmonics are used as a fill. To achieve this technique, lightly touch the string just above the designated fret without applying pressure to connect the string to the fretboard. For this lead guitar fill, start with the 12th fret harmonics on the 2nd string, then the 1st string. Drop down to the 7th fret, 2nd, then 1st string, then end on the 4th string, 5th fret harmonic. Back to the first half of the verse. Then the second half rhythm with an added 4th string open D back to the partial E minor. This bridges the song to the chorus. The second verse is very similar, but on the second part of the rhythm, there's a fill where you slide up to the 12th fret on the 3rd and 4th string, and quickly hammer to the 14th and pull back off to the 12th. This is repeated for a total of 8 times. After the second and third chorus, there is a guitar solo. Before we learn the solo, here is the guitar rhythm that is played along with it. Start with a 6th string 17th fret slide down the neck to an A5 power chord. Next is a pick scrape down strings 4, 5, and 6. Halfway through the pick scrape, slide down from the 6th string 19th fret and end on a G5 power chord. 6th string 3rd, 5th string 5, and 4th string 5. Repeat the whole section, but play the G5 for half the duration, then switch to an E5. 6th string open, 5th string 2, and 4th string 2. The guitar solo takes our 1-finger major chord and moves it up to the 14th fret, which is an A chord. Then the 12th fret G, and this is played for 2 repetitions. Rather than strum the A chord, pick the strings individually. Starting with the slide up the 4th string to the 14th fret, pick the 3rd string, then 2nd string, all played with the index finger. Keep the 14th fret barred for later use. Add the 2nd string 15 with the middle finger to 17 with the pinky. Back to 14, then pull 15 to 14. With your index finger holding the 14th fret A, pick the 3rd string, then the 4th string. These notes are slightly palm muted. Next, pick the notes of the chord again, starting with the 2nd string, 3rd, then 4th, with a slide down the neck. Phrase 5 of the solo plays the 12th fret G chord. The picking patterns are exactly the same as the A, just 2 frets down. Here's the A from phrase 4, and here's the G from phrase 5. As phrase 4 ends, we slide down the neck. Phrase 5 begins with a slide up the neck to the 4th string 12. Bar the 12th fret, then pick the 3rd, then 2nd. Walk up to the 2nd string 13, 15, down to 12, 13, pull the 12. With the 12th fret barred, pick the 3rd, then 4th, 2nd, 3rd, then 4th with a slide down the neck. Phrase 6 brings us back to the 14th fret A chord with a slide up the 4th string. Picking the barred 3, then 2, walk up to frets 15, then 17, 14, 15, pull to 14. With a slight variation on the 1st string, bend to 17, hold the bend and pick twice, release the bend and pick 17 again, and slide down the neck. Phrase 7 wraps up the solo with the A lead. Slide up to the 4th string to a barred 12th fret, pick 3, then 2, walk up to 13, then 15 just like before, drop down to 12, and end the solo with double note patterns. 1st string 14, 2nd string 15. Up 1 fret to 15 and 16. Since the 1st finger is barred on the 12th fret, I find it easiest to play these notes with the middle and ring finger. Next is a tricky bend. Hold the 1st string 15 with your middle finger and bend the 2nd string 15 with your index. While the bend is full, slide down the neck and start to release the bend. This leads us back to the chorus rhythm. The parts we've learned make up the basic structure of the whole song. Let's put the parts together at a faster pace. First, we'll run through a verse, chorus, and solo at 75% speed, then again at full speed. In the third verse, there is a new fill for phrase 2b. We'll call this harmonic fill phrase 8. Coming out of the rhythm, slide up to harmonics on the 12th fret of the 3rd, then 1st string, 3rd string open while moving down to the 7th fret harmonics, then pick the 2nd and 1st string harmonics, and end with 5th fret harmonics on 3, 2, and 1. On the second solo, everything is the same, but the 2nd, 4th fret A chord has a change up. Slide up to the 14, walk up, 14, 15 pull to 14, then the change is played on the 17th fret with a quick slide up to 19. Bend 1.5 steps to match the pitch of the 22nd fret. So play 17, slide to 19, bend and release 3 times, with a final bend and a mute. Then end the solo the same way as before. The rest of the song repeats the same parts.